What's up guys, welcome to Munchkin's Gaming, where we take your gaming to the next level. This is Munchkin's logging in to bring you another Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia video, and welcome back to another video guide for the LUFENIA series. So in today's video we are going to take a look at Keiss's Lost Chapter LUFENIA fight. Now before we do start, like and subscribe if you haven't already, because it does help this channel and I would really appreciate it. And now without further ado, let's start this video. Alright guys, we'll start this off in how to deal with the LUFENIA orb. This starts at 100% of the boss's HP or at the start of the battle, and will disappear once you hit less than 80%, and will reappear once you hit below 50% of the boss's HP. This does increase by 10 when the target is launched, so that is a significant number. So either I guess you want to call it launch, knockback, or chase. Characters that I would really consider bringing here are Keiss, Cloud, Lael, and Ramza. A worthy note though is Dark Knight Cecil. I really wouldn't recommend bringing him along in your main team, as the bosses are able to absorb the dark element. However, if you're in a pinch and you need a launch, I guess a call for Dark Knight Cecil is acceptable. Alright guys, so now let's move on to how the fight works. Now the bosses do have a couple of things up their sleeves. They can delay your turns, inflict some debuffs as well as being double resistance to magic based attacks and immunities to a lot of debuffs as well. They also, I already mentioned it, can absorb the dark element. That's why Dark Knight Cecil isn't the ideal character to bring along. However, you can still use him, like I said, as a call character. Now, the boss do have these weird little green auras they have, and honestly, this is something that you need to deal with in terms of, because it has like a poison HP aura that you won't be able to get rid of unless you launch the enemies. So that's why in how to deal with the fight, setting up your launches is going to be very important. Having maybe two characters that can launch is going to make things a lot more easier. Not that you can't do this with just the one, but it is something worthy to consider. Now let's move on to some of the characters that you might want to consider bringing, such as Theodore, Penelo, Pestle, Arciela, Furion, Onion Knight. The list goes on and on. There's really not much of a limitations in terms of characters, except for dark base characters such as Dark Knight Cecil, as I mentioned. However, even though Dark Knight Cecil is not ideal to bring as in your main party, as I mentioned, maybe a call will be alright. If you plan to bring magic based characters as well, I mean, Imperils are going to help with that, so hope you can magic Imperil. Plus, if you have another I suppose like a elemental Imperil, that will add to your damage and basically will make the double resistance to magic go away. So there's a lot of how should I say it, a lot of leeway in terms of how you can deal with the fight nowadays. So even though bosses do have double resistance in certain elements, there are other ways around it. Now for the cult characters, as I mentioned, basically these are going to be remaining the same for the most part. Jack, Onion Knight, Ramza, Hope, Keiss, and again Dark Knight Cecil is a worthy consideration. Now for party compositions though, the main team, as you guys can see in this video, is going to be Paladin, Cecil, Cloud, and Keiss. Basically the boss didn't really have much of a chance with this team. Cole team includes Jack, Onion Knight, and Theodore. Support is Paladin, Cecil with a burst ideally. And for my summon, I actually messed up and used Diabolus. This was a mistake on my part, so don't follow it. I would highly suggest bringing Pandemonium. The second team I have for you guys here is going to be very identical. It's just switching things around. Paladin, Cecil, Ramza, and Cloud. Cult team is Hope, Setzer, and Machina. Support here for Onion Knight. I guess you can get a little bit more finishing touches with support Onion Knight. Summon for this one is going to be Pandemonium. Now for the third team is honestly is going to be almost identical once again. Is Paladin, Cecil, Ramza, and Rude. If the call team for this one, Kryle, Onion Knight, and Jack. Support Ramza, preferably with a burst, and of course the summon is going to be still Pandemonium. The last one I have for you guys here is going to be a little bit different. It includes Lightning, Keiss, and Furion. This is going to be a little bit more trickier since you do have to set up your launches. Honestly, for your teams, if you can have two characters that can launch pretty well, you shouldn't have any issues with this particular fight. Call team for this one, Penelo, Ramza, and Hope. Ramza is there to give you that extra launch, you know, and support Ramza as well. Again, extra launch is going to be very, very helpful, and of course the summon is still going to be Pandemonium. Alright guys, so that is basically it for the end of this video. My final thoughts on the fight. This one is particularly easy, for me at least. I do have Cloud's burst, and then Keiss, I managed to get his Laxaki's LD, and then, you know, I have Paladin Cecil as well. Unfortunately, to this day, I have not gotten his burst. I really wanted it, but all the banners that include Paladin Cecil's burst, I managed to get all the LD, including Camlonauts, which it actually took like it took 5 pulls and a couple more tickets before I managed to get Camlonauts LD. But I was really secretly hoping to get Paladin Cecil's burst on those multi-pulls. Unfortunately, I didn't get it, but you know, it is what it is. That's sometimes how the game works. And yeah, even without Paladin Cecil's burst, this is pretty significantly easier than a lot of the other Lufenia fights I've done. And yeah, hopefully you guys have a much easier time as well. Like I said, as long as you have 2 characters that can launch pretty well, you shouldn't have any issues with this fight. For the most part, it is just setting up the launches. Anyway, I do apologize that this video is late, and there are a lot more late videos coming up hopefully soon. Yeah, I apologize. Anyway, that's it for this video, guys. Please do remember to click like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does help the channel, and I would really appreciate it if you can share this video as well. You can follow me on Twitter and on Facebook at Munchkins Gaming. This is Munchkins logging off. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next level.